All right, here we go.
Nice.
Hey, folks, it's featurette time. We're going to come at you with a nice quick hitter about some upcoming events, ongoing events, that sort of thing. That's loud.
Oh, is it?
Kind of loud in the ears.
It's all right. No worries. No
Uh,
worries.
Greetings, folks. It is a Wednesday night, but not the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But we promised you more, so we're coming at you and we're giving you more. We're sponsored by Pachanga tonight.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
not.
You did do
Probably
that,
not.
didn't you? You did do it.
Pachanga.
Wow. You did do it.
We're not sponsored by Pachanga.
I was going to say,
but it's pretty tasty beer.
Sun King, we love you though. We really do. Since you said the name,
honestly, got mad love for the local Sun
absolutely.
King, and we will drink copious amounts of this. Evan,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, the biggest game in the U.S. men national team's last 4 years since failing to qualify for Trinidad. Maybe one of the most important matches tomorrow night. Mexico in the Azteca. Do we have the firepower? We're missing a couple players.
Yeah.
Berhalter left a few guys off the roster that some people were not pleased about.
It was like,
wait, what? What are your thoughts here?
First of all, man, I was just thinking about 2018 this morning and how bad it hurt, dude. How bad it freaking hurt. The squad, I just had a chance to look at it and just glancing at the squad, I like it. I really do. I'm partial to Gio Reyna because, my favorite Bundesliga club, he plays for Dortmund, so
I've got a Dortmund jersey, man. We're gonna. No, it's not up here.
No, it's not up here. But okay, yeah.
But they're not part of the show.
Okay, they're not part of the show. But I just thought I'd mention it. I just thought.
No, I love me some Dortmund.
Some Dortmund, and so here's the thing. I think that with Weston McKennie gone, we've talked about this before, right? Weston McKennie, huge loss, big loss, for us. It's next man up.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think as far as, Reyna is concerned, I think the article that you pulled up had him as an alternate in the midfield. On the left side. And I agree with one of the comments that we saw in there in the fact that Reyna's just coming off an injury.
Yeah.
And, he's just now starting to rack up some minutes. And so let's bring him in off the bench. And the reason why I say that is because it's been successful, at least in, bringing it full circle, at least last time, whenever Chelsea, when they brought Werner, Lukaku, and who else did they bring off the bench? They brought someone else off the bench.
Was it Mount? Did Mount come in off the bench?
I can't remember. I think he was on. But anyway, they to be able to bring in toward the end of the game, 30 minutes left, 40 minutes left, bring in toward the end of the game somebody with that kind of talent. I think it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And so to have Reyna sitting on the bench, I think it's a wise move.
Yeah.
To me, it's the move that you need to go with. I think Berhalter has, he's done a really good job putting the team together. I don't think we had any doubt about Zach Steffen starting at goal.
No, especially with Turner out, that makes the most sense.
Right.
Horvath is good. We don't quite have the same. It's Tim Howard's not walking through the door, so we need to stop making that comparison.
Wait, he's not?
He was a great guy to have as goalkeeper and to follow on from Friedel and Casey Keller. I mean, we've had some good goals. I think the fact that Timmy was playing for a major club. And we don't really have that. Steffen is a backup for City. He gets cup minutes. Turner's going to Arsenal, but I don't think we expect him to start there. It's been a minute since we've had a really standout goalie, but these guys are nothing to sniff at. I think they're going to be fine. And I'm with you. I think while I started this by saying this is maybe the most important match they've played in the last 4 years, there are still 2 more matches to be played. And this is going to be a physical match. And I'm not saying Reyna's not up to it. I'm saying the guys played one full match at 90 minutes was over the weekend. So use him as a substitute, and also in this, excuse me, Pachanga, projected versus preferred lineup here. What I don't like it is, if you're going to play Reyna, I would say you play him, up top on the right, in where both of these have Weah. I'm not sure you want Reyna and Pulisic operating on the same side of the field. Their work rate is high, but they are not defensive minded players. And that's where a box to box guy like Weston McKennie's going to be missed. And that's why I understand why they're going with Kellen Acosta starting that position. He's going to give you some steel. He's going to go hard into the tackle.
Right.
He's not probably going to play a line splitting ball or anything like that. But if you've got Pulisic and Weah and Musa out there, I think he augments that pretty nicely.
If I could make a parallel between Acosta, he reminds me somewhat of a Matic, a guy who is in the middle, who can be in the middle, but is sort of that tough guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just that tough guy that will.
He's going to put a shift in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
I think the only other real kind of question mark in the team is who plays up top, who plays in that true striker role. They've gone with Jesus Ferreira here.
Yeah.
He is playing well. He really is. I think one of the arguments also is that he's got pace. PFOC is he takes up space, and so does Pepe, but they're going to be a bit more reliant on service, whereas I think Ferreira can get in behind in a way that the other two probably can't. Now, the counter to that is PFOC is just scoring goals for fun for young boys in the Swiss league, and all of those words right there sound funny, but the reality is young boys routinely qualifies for the Champions League. They don't go terribly far, but it tells you that that's a pretty decent team.
It's a good squad.
And he's scoring regularly for them. So, maybe you go with the hot hand or hot foot, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how long, because Ricardo Pepi seems to me, he's a could be a very much a streaky type, player. And I think that if you could catch him on the upswing, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what Berhalter's, what he should look for. Do you bring him in when you bring in Reyna and see how those guys work together? Do you let them kind of play off of each other? I don't know, but I feel like for us to, like we said before, what we need in these next three matches is we need, in my opinion, I think we need 2 wins, and I think we need a draw. We don't need it, but I think it would be to our best interest.
For sure,
to go in like that.
For sure. I mean? The sort of other side of this is Mexico is going to be missing a few players that are important as well. Their captain Andres Guardado is out. Forward Funes Mori is out, and he's played well. Julio Cesar Dominguez, I don't know if he would have started, but again, this is 3 games all these teams have to play. Mexico and United States are tied. I think the difference is goal differential. Tied for second. Believe 4 points behind Canada. So nobody can afford to take their foot off the gas here. Right. I mean, in theory, Canada could find themselves on the outside looking in, having to qualify if things didn't go their way. I don't think that's going to happen. They've played really well, and their coaches got them ready. But there's let's say,
we're up 2 on goal differential. Let's
play this out. If we go to Azteca and play a good match and get a point.
Oh man, I think we're on our way.
That's a fine result. And then that sets the platform to come home and beat Panama. Just beat Panama.
Yes.
And render the Costa Rica game just completely irrelevant. Not not take it lightly, because obviously you don't want to drop any further down. But
Sure.
once you know you've qualified, you can make some decisions. So Berhalter's going to have as much work to do as the players tomorrow night in determining, what are the next steps? How is this
Sure.
game going?
Sure.
What can he do to influence it? And, as that article said, this is one of the deepest player pools we've had in a long time. There's guys on the bench that can make a difference. All the more reason to maybe set a stall out and say, Kellen Acosta and you guys put a foundation in the game.
Yeah.
And with 25 minutes to go, Reyna, PFOC, whoever, we're going to give you an opportunity to make a change in this game. And, if we come away with a 1-0 loss or something like that, as long as it was a decent performance, I'm okay with it, because again, it's how we move into the Panama game. The argument that this game isn't important, let's rest, let's not go out, it's in Azteca, it's at altitude, it's in the heat, blah, 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 blah. I just don't think you can play like that. I think it messes with people's attitudes and messes with your performance. So I say, go win the game, boys.
Yep. That being said, since this is our, first attempt at a little quick hitter, we're going to go ahead and switch to our final discussion type points. And I got to thank you, man, because I know this, kind of tugs at your heartstrings to give the final 5 minutes of our thing to my club. But
hey, I didn't think there was anything that could be worse than how Manchester United has been performing, and then your club is being sold. So,
man, let's get into it, man.
The news today is that the Ricketts family, the current owners of the Chicago Cubs,
is there a vaccination against rickets? Is there? I don't know. I can't remember.
Ricketts, like scurvy or something like that. We are not doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ricketts family owns the Chicago Cubs, and they are believed to be putting in a bid for Chelsea. I believe they've got a couple days to get this done. I think they're really trying to take care of it this week, from the sound of things.
By Friday, I think.
Okay. And there is a lot of pushback on this club. Some of it seems to be a bit of a moral outrage, and I understand it. I'm not in any way defending it, right. But it seems a little misplaced and maybe a little hypocritical from the club. But I think there's also something to be said for just what the Ricketts are like as owners of a sports club. So, Evan, the first part is, years ago, the patriarch of the Ricketts family, made an anti-Islamic comment stating that, well, I'm not going to repeat it. Right. He made an anti-Islamic statement, and they apologized for it. And first off, he's not part of the bid. It sounds like he's sort of aged out of being an active owner.
They put Grandpa in the corner.
Yeah,
they put him in the corner.
Yeah. He used some old colloquialisms a little too often.
Right.
And
he and Marge shot.
Yeah, they're hanging out. The rest of the family talked about how they've done outreach in the Muslim community in and around Chicago. But there's a lot of pushback from supporters groups, both in and around Chelsea and in Chicago itself. Yeah. Evan, do they have a point, and is it the right one to be made at this point in time?
It's interesting, because as you were talking, I was getting ready to channel my inner Shannon Sharp and just go, nope, don't like it. Nope. Aaron, no. I am
not Skip Bayless. Damn it, man.
That was good. No, I liken it to, the dude that that lives in a trailer that goes out and buys a $40,000-$50,000 sports car. It's like, dude, why are you trying to buy a sports car and you live in a trailer, bro? Come on. What's up with that? I think that what I feel from Chicago Cubs fans, is that same sentiment. It's like, hey, look, you've dismantled the team. You sold everybody that we love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got rid of, you know, God forbid, Rizzo. You got
Mm-hmm.
rid of, you know, everybody. You got, you know, you sold Schwarbs and all this stuff. And now, instead of rebuilding,
yep,
you want to give all this money, hundreds of millions of dollars, for a club across the pond. And I understand that rate.
Billions.
Yeah, not millions, with a B. I understand that rage. I really do. I liken it to my disdain and dislike of the city of Baltimore, and quite frankly, city of Indianapolis, because they started it. They stole the Baltimore Colts, and the Colts stole the Cleveland Browns. That's all I'll say about it. And, you know, we may do a special just on American football, because newsflash, I may be changing teams, my friend. Anyway,
we can get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, no, I think the Cubs fans have a point. I really do. I think
the Chelsea fans have a point.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I think Chelsea fans have a point too, because it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think you brought up an incredible kind of comparison with the Glazers. It's like, you know, hey, look, it would be as if they were trying to, you know, buy the Cubs.
Right.
And it's like, wait, you haven't done yet what you needed to do to make Manchester United the club that Manchester United needs to be. Yeah. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think both fan bases have a beef with this, and I totally understand where they're coming from. The business part of me says, if you can put up the money, then I want to keep my team. You know, I mean, that's more the sentimental part of me.
Not knowing who the other bidders are at this point, who all's going to throw their hat in. I mean, the types of people who can own clubs in the first place, I mean, there's probably going to always be some skeletons in the closet.
Sure.
Especially old money. You know, but we see
Abramovich.
Abramovich is new money.
Oh yeah. That's true.
I'm guessing the Ricketts have, you know, if they've got a patriarch old enough to be in trouble for making racist comments, then I would imagine this money's been around for a minute.
True.
And, you know, I'm hit and miss about the Glazers, because, you know, people were really mad about them leveraging, you know, debt in order to buy the company. But look, if Chelsea Football Club's worth $4 billion, no offense, Manchester United is worth $6 billion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And they do the valuations of these clubs every year. So I'm not worried about the sort of debt ratio. What I'm concerned about is they seem to have thought that the club was going to just ride on based on its sort of nostalgia and history, like we're too big to fail kind of thing. And from a business standpoint, they may be, but they're not challenging for trophies, and they're losing space. You know, they're losing ground in the sort of, you know, world canon, if you will, of football, of who you'd really want to support.
Right.
And we know the Glazers can make good decisions and invest, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won a Super Bowl. So, you know, they're not without an understanding of things, but they've not invested in the stadium, which, you know, should and always should be just the pinnacle of sport.
I mean,
even with what Spurs have built, and what Chelsea are rumored to be, you know, we're planning to do in and around Stamford Bridge. All these big clubs, you know, Old Trafford's an institution, and it's a fantastic place, but you can see it needs upgrades. The training ground needs upgrades. The club needs a sporting director with a vision. And for people who are good business owners, I don't understand how they're missing those things. So back to Chelsea, you know, I
was going to say, wait a minute, what the hell, man?
sneaky, Aaron. You know, what I hope is that there is a good and proper person that comes in to buy the club with the notion of not really changing a whole lot, because they are successful, maybe making a few different decisions that, you know, Roman did bring a little bit of a black eye at times to the club with some of his dealings. So if they can manage that, on the up, then that's what I want to see, because the Premier League is better with these top clubs that are competing with one another and raising the level of play in the league. I don't want to see, Chelsea collapse or go into administration.
Right.
As much as I want Thomas Tuchel, that's not how I want it to happen.
Right.
I don't want to see the club sold for spare parts.
No.
And I don't want to see any club have that happen to them. So best of luck. Hopefully somebody comes through and they're not tied to, dirty oil money or something like that.
Yeah.
So folks, hopefully you enjoy this. It's a little shorter, a little quicker, a little bit more focused, and we have fun doing it. So hopefully you have fun listening, and everybody out there, see you next Wednesday. Drink some good beer, and we love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Black people vote.
Black people vote.